Manchester's home for the Red Sox, the Patriots, and the home team. Afternoons at 4. This is WGAM, The Game.
Welcome back to the New England Golf Radio Show. I am JJ Truman. Got Chris Arcan behind the board. Gangstar? No?
This is DJ Premier, yeah, but it's
DJ
Royce the 5'9".
Oh, okay.
DJ Premier is from Gangstar.
Oh, so I'm
he's the
in there.
producer, so you're
Look at that. Look at that. Our last
right.
day, and I'm on point with the call. I don't know what we got coming in.
It took 4 months, but you finally got one.
I got a couple. I got a couple in there. You can't distract. Chris Arcan behind the board, always playing a beat for us here on Sunday morning. And we're going to talk about the man everybody wants to hear about in the world of golf. Everybody wants to talk about. The media wants to cover him. People want to know what is going on with this guy, Tiger Woods. If you have anything to offer in this segment, and I know people do out there, so call in 883-9900. You can chat with us about any one of these topics. And obviously, we know what's going on with Tiger. If you follow golf in any sense, or even you turn on ESPN, you're going to hear what's going on. But I just want to break down what Tiger Woods has accomplished in his career, because I think people are trashing this guy, and I think he deserves to have his accomplishments put out there, and people don't realize how good this dude actually was.
Would you like some background music as you list his accomplishments?
I have a feeling you're going to give it to me whether I want it or not, so absolutely. World number one in 2000 for 5 years in 4 months. 5 years and 4 months at world number one, okay? And people who don't care about the world number one ranking, maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't, but that's a long time. He had 21 amateur wins, 97 professional wins, 16 World Golf Championships, which most of them came at Firestone, but it's still a big accomplishment given that only the top 50 players in the world can get into World Golf Championships. He's got 8 European Tour wins. Did you know that, Chris? Nobody knows that.
I didn't
even know he played on that European Tour. What does it even? I guess the Australian Masters counts as a European Tour.
Played at least 8 times.
Which, yeah, that's right. Which he will be playing in later this year, which I think is the place that he'll win when I made that prediction that he would win this year. But we'll see how that goes. And 14 major championship wins. 14 major championship wins, which is second all-time to Jack Nicklaus. We all know that. Played in the Masters, was in the hunt coming down the stretch, had that injury, missed some putts, did not win it. Solid performance, though. Played in the TPC, not a solid performance, was clearly hurt, shot a 42 on the front nine, withdrew. Played in the WGC at Firestone this year, tied for 37th. +1 was his final score. Not a great performance by any stretch of the imagination, but showed some signs of getting back into the groove. Played in the PGA this past week, 77, 73, didn't make the cut, +10. Certainly was not comfortable with his golf swing. You could see that out there. However, the guy needs to be recognized for his talent and for what he's done in the past. He is certainly capable of getting himself back on track, and I think that a lot of people are avoiding that, talking about the fact that he is the best golfer playing the game right now, if he continues to play, which I think he will. I think he'll definitely play in that Australian Masters. But certainly the best guy out there that's in the game right now. So let's not forget that about Tiger Woods, everybody. He still is the best guy that's playing the game right now.
I want to say to each
and
of
he
you
wants to thank us all.
And directly.
That's it. That's all. He wants to say something simply and directly. He'll
Simply
say it later.
and directly, still the best guy playing the game. The question now is, Chris, how much has the injury impacted him, physically or mentally? What do you think?
A lot. I mean, you say he's the best playing right now. No, he isn't.
He's the best right now. He's the most accomplished player right now.
Okay, he's the most. He's had the best career,
hands down.
But he's not
the most
best
accomplished
playing
player
right now.
No, on a week-to-week basis, no, not in that case. But the most accomplished player that is playing the game right now. There's not another guy in the world of golf that's playing better, or that has a more accomplished record
that has more
than
accomplishments,
he does.
That has a better past. But he's old news. He is what was, and I think that's overwhelming him and all of his team right now. I think that's basically become the story of Tiger Woods, is that he's old news.
So is it a physical thing or is it a mental thing? Is
both.
This injury?
It's both.
It's both. So the injury is the physical part.
The aging is the physical part.
The aging too.
He's older now.
He's not that old. Jack won the major when he was 44.
That's
won the Masters
true,
when he was 44.
Not everyone's
Tiger's
Jack.
35. He's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time to recover from the injury.
Sorry.
He's deeply sorry that he's you can't help aging, Tiger,
behavior.
and I'm with you. We'll see how you do. But I think physically and mentally, definitely physically, he looks a lot better. I think he's going to be back. I think he's 100%. I think mentally, he's a little messed up right now. I think that's his issue. He's got to stop playing golf swing and start playing a little bit more golf. A lot of media talking about more tournament reps for Tiger. Is this a necessity for him?
Yeah.
Does he need to play in more tournaments? Does he need to get himself back on the course no matter where it is? I heard some guys on the Golf Channel even talking about the Nationwide Tour. Can you imagine Tiger on the Nationwide Tour?
No.
That would be unbelievable. No chance that's going to happen. So more tournament reps?
Absolutely. I think he needs to play as much as he can. And if he can't do it, if he can't keep up with the grind, then he shouldn't. But I think that what he's doing right now is not working for him. It's not conducive to him succeeding. He's kind of rusty. He comes out, he's shooting 10 over. I mean, he'll have one good tournament, but then he'll have 3 terrible ones. And he keeps playing so sporadically that it seems like he's not ever getting into any kind of groove.
Yeah, very inconsistent. I agree with you. I definitely agree that he's got to get more tournament reps. I'm highly upset that he avoided the Wyndham this week to get into the FedEx Cup playoffs. I think that was a poor decision on Tiger's behalf. He cited family obligations as his reason for not playing, which if it's the truth, I get it. That's what you have to do. Take care of your family. There's no question about it. You buying that? You buying family obligations this week?
I know people want to find out.
Yes, we do want to
How I
find
can
out
be
if you
so
really had family
selfish.
obligations.
I mean, I'm buying it, I guess. I'm sure he does have important family obligations. You can never overstep into that and say, well, you should not take care of your family obligations.
Yeah, you probably can't question him on
And
that
I'm
one.
not going to sit here and say the guy's a liar. I mean, I don't know.
Well, he's got a track record of being a liar.
I guess.
So you
with
can't-
his family.
So you can't actually say that. I guess you probably don't want to question his obligations or commitments to his family, but he definitely did lie to a lot of people
That's
about
true.
a lot of different things. So you could call him that, but I don't know if you want to go there. Colin Montgomery extended an invitation to play in Europe the next couple of weeks while the FedEx Cup playoffs are going on. And there's some decent tournaments going on over there, and we talked a lot about that on this show. Should U.S. players go over to Europe and play? Doesn't seem like it'd be a bad idea. Tiger owns a plane. He probably owns 4 of them. I mean, he can get over there no problem. He declined. Bad move? You think he should go over with Colin and play a little bit with the European Tour guys? Kick this music on the range and let him know he's around? Get some tournament reps. That's what we just said. He needs more tournament reps. Europe's a viable option for him. Why not go over there?
I don't see why not. I mean, it might not be a bad place for him to kind of start over, too, Fresh start out there. I mean, people know who he is still. It's not like he can disappear.
Well, he won't escape the media.
Right, but it won't nearly be as bad as it is here.
Yeah, and the other thing, and here's a little conspiracy theory for you, is that if Tiger goes over there and plays in Europe, does Europe then take the spotlight away from the FedEx Cup playoffs? If Tiger's playing, Tiger Woods is in Europe,
it
right?
would. It would,
right? So does Tim Fincham, the PGA Tour president, call Tiger and say, look, man, I know maybe you want to play, but you can't go over there. Nobody's going to watch the FedEx Cup playoffs if you're going to go play in Europe. Everybody's going to be watching European Tour events. It's going to screw everything up for the world of golf. That's my little conspiracy theory that I made up in my mind. I would love to see him go to Europe. I think it'd be a good place for him to play. I do agree that it would take away from the FedEx Cup playoffs for certain fans. For me, it wouldn't. It would just give me more golf to watch, which would be unbelievable. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't want to watch that much golf, but I do. So it would be great for me. It'd be great for Tiger. I think it'd help him get back on track. As I said, I'm highly upset that he skipped this week, but you can't question him in that sense. But Europe is definitely a viable option for him. He should really consider going over there in week 2 or 3 of the FedEx Cup playoffs and playing one of those tournaments just to see how he can perform in tournament situations and get used to that again. He is going to play in the Australian Masters, which I think is the first place that he'll get his win in coming back. I called that he'd get a win this year. Since he's not playing in the playoffs, I mean, that dwindles it down to at least that Australian Masters. So that's the place where I think he'll get it done. But he seriously needs to consider playing in Europe, and I'm sure the European guys would not mind seeing him over there, although a lot of those guys will be playing in the FedEx Cup playoffs. So it's a little bit of a strange situation, but certainly something he should consider. Now, the other option for him is after the FedEx Cup playoffs is to play in the Fall Series. Now, the Fall Series is typically tournaments for guys who are trying to retain their PGA Tour card. A lot of the guys who are locked into that top 125, they take not the rest of the year off, but they don't play in those tournaments. They give those other guys an opportunity to shine. And one of the tournaments is the Justin Timberlake tournament out in Las Vegas, and hopefully I'll be able to go out to that. I'm hoping to get out there and watch that. But it's a lot of fun to watch these guys who you don't see spotlighted have a chance to win. And at the same time, there's a lot of pressure on them because they're competing to keep their PGA Tour card. They're competing to keep their job, just like, me and you are competing to keep our job every single day. So what do you think about Tiger showing up at the Fall Series or in the Fall Series and playing some of those events with those guys? Something he could do, something he should do. What do you think?
In theory, I think it's probably something he should do, but I think if he did do that, people would be all over him saying he was just doing it for publicity. You know what I mean? He's lost sponsors in the past few years. I think that would people would see that and think this guy's a phony.
Right, and it's I agree with you. I think it's something that he should certainly consider. But at the same time, there's two problems. Like you said, they'd accuse him of trying to gain some publicity and trying to gain sponsors back by showing up there. And they would also accuse him of trying to prey on the guys who are trying to get their PGA Tour card. Looking at them and saying, you're taking a chance away from one of these guys to make the tour, and you're just being selfish for your own regard. I don't think that's necessarily the right way to look at it. I don't think that's fair to Tiger. I mean, he just wants to play golf tournaments. Yeah. But I definitely think that's what would happen. They would look at him and say, oh, Tiger Woods is going to show up in Vegas and try to wax everybody because he feels like he's better than them. And he's not just going for tournament reps, he's going for publicity. And at the same time, he's really taking opportunities away from other guys. So I don't think you'll see him in the fall series. I don't think there's any chance that's going to happen, although I don't think it would be a bad idea. You hear like I said, a lot of golf analysts are talking about that's a viable option for him. It won't happen. There's no way. I think it would be great if he did, but I don't think it'll happen. I think they're just trying to build up the anticipation of the fall series, which I like anyway. I think it's fun. As I said, those guys are fighting for their jobs, and you could see it on their faces. There's a lot of pressure. I mean, some of those putts that they're hitting at the end of those tournaments, it's major championship pressure, which is great to see in the fall and see from guys that you don't see in that situation a lot, which I think is just a lot of fun to watch.
It's like watching the March Madness, kind of, because some of those guys, they play basketball all their lives, and that's the last time they're going to be on the floor with a basketball jersey on playing.
Right, no, there's no question.
Same kind of thing.
Yeah, and you think about it, and you think about those guys, they just put that pressure on themselves, and that pressure's there to perform. And even, March Madness and Championship Week and all that stuff to get into the tournament, certainly it's fun to watch because there's so much pressure on those guys, and you want to see who thrives and who performs in those type of situations. So, okay, last question about Tiger we got here. He's got 14 major championships. Okay, he's second all time. I want to make sure everybody knows that he's second all time. Okay, to Jack Nicklaus, who has 18. He's got to win 5 more. He's 35 years old. Is he going to do it?
No.
Why?
Because.
Just because? We've got no reasoning behind it. Are you flipping a coin over there? Or is there something? Did Professor Lyrical tell you something about Tiger that you know that, and you can't disclose on the air or something like that?
I can't just blow up Professor Lyrical's spot like that. I just don't see him competing. He's not competing lately. I don't see him just suddenly getting it back. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I know it's happened before with other golfers. From what I've seen, and it's fresh in my head, I don't see Tiger coming back and even competing in a major, let alone winning 5 more.
Now, that doesn't surprise me coming from a guy who's nervous about the Red Sox going into the playoffs. If you listen to Chris's show, which is on Saturdays. What's your show, Chris?
Sports Saturday.
Sports Saturday. Chris is nervous about the Red Sox. And you could just
nervous
tell
Nelly.
that he just doesn't see him turning around. And after last night, I can't imagine what he was thinking. But
I feel
bad
for Tim Wakefield.
Me. I feel bad for Tim Wakefield, too. But it doesn't surprise me that you came up with that answer. Chris is going no, Tiger doesn't get it done. I'm going yes. Jack had a little bit of the same issue. He had a streak where he didn't win. He wasn't competitive. People were saying, and golf wasn't covered the way it is now back then, so it was different. There wasn't 47,000 people giving an opinion on Jack Nicklaus's career. There was a select few that were on CBS and mainstream media, but there wasn't Golf Channel. There wasn't shows like us that existed where people were saying, you know what, this guy's done. So I think Jack went through a little bit of that. It wasn't as highly publicized because of just the media that covered golf was smaller back then, and so it goes a little bit unnoticed. I think Tiger does get it back. I think he gets it done. He's 35. He's going to have at least until he's 45, barring any injury. He's got 4 a year that he can win. So he's got 40 more to win 5. I think he can do it, definitely. I got a lot of confidence in him coming back, just given what he's done in the past. As I said, he's the most accomplished player in golf right now, the most accomplished. Maybe not the best. Chris made a good point. Maybe not the best because he's not playing the best. He's been inconsistent. You never know what's going to happen with him mentally or physically, but he's the most accomplished guy that's out there right now. So you have to give him his credit, and in my mind, and say that he's a guy that can certainly surpass Jack, given he's going to have 10 years left. 40 tournaments to win 5, pretty good numbers. If Vegas is taking a line on it, I'm betting on Tiger Woods for sure. And I'll be out there this fall, so I'll let everybody know next season when I come back how I did on that bet. Or actually, we won't know for another 10 years. I guess that'd be a long time. I'll have to wait to cash that thing. But I definitely have a lot of confidence in him. I think he can get it back. I think Sean Foley is putting him on a path that will lead him to where he wants to be. I don't know how long that's going to take. That relationship, I like it. However, it seems like they're really process-oriented, or not process-oriented, I should say, and focus more on the end result. And they need to change that around a little bit and stop playing golf swing and let Tiger just go out there and get it in the hole, because that's what he's done his whole life. I think he can do that with the best in the world at any time if he just gets his mind off where his positions are and where his wrist is and how his body's rotating. Just hit the ball, Tiger. Just get it in the hole. That's what you're there. Go to your home, right? Happy Gilmore. It's just that simple. But I think, as I said, I think he's that good. I think he'll surpass Jack at some point. However, Chris has got a valid point. Lately, Hasn't done anything. And a lot of people are, hey, what have you done for me lately? But I'm more, what have you done in your entire career? Most accomplished guy out there. That'll wrap up our segment on Tiger. Nobody wanted to call in and talk to us about that. 883-9900. For the next segment, if you want to talk to us about the Wyndham Championship, we'll talk about the PGA Tour playoffs, the FedEx Cup, which is an interesting system that we'll talk about whether it works or if it doesn't work right here on WGAM when we return.
I've got a little poem that I'd like to read in honor of this occasion, if I may. It's falling, get your foot off the boat.
To lock